All right, so we love a good deep dive.
Yeah.
And this one's about a topic, well, actually, kind of close to all of our hearts in more ways than one.
Yeah.
We're talking sex and heart health.
Oh, I like where this is going.
Yeah, so we got sent some really interesting research on this, articles, medical guidelines, you name it. And we are so ready to dig in because apparently what happens in the bedroom can actually have a real impact on what's happening inside our chests.
It's true. And, it's kind of wild how much, misinformation and just worry there is around this topic.
Yeah, for real.
It's like this weird taboo.
Totally. So let's just bust some myths wide open.
Please.
So one of the first things that jumped out at us from the research was this study, and it was in the American Journal of Cardiology, no less.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And it was talking about how regular sex can actually reduce a man's risk of having a heart attack.
Yeah, by a lot, too.
Really?
Way more than you think.
Okay, spill the tea.
All right, so we're talking a 50% reduction for men who have sex twice a week.
Oh, wow.
Compared to those who are only intimate once a month.
Okay, wait, 50%?
Yeah.
That's got to be the best news ever.
Right.
What's the connection there? Because that just seems insane.
Basically, just think about it like this. Every time you're, getting busy, it gets your heart pumping, it increases your blood flow. It's working out different muscle groups.
So you're saying it's like a workout?
It's literally a fun form of exercise.
Okay, I like that.
And like any good workout, it releases those endorphins, those feel-good hormones.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, the stress relievers.
Exactly.
Okay, so it's like a win-win for your heart and for your mood.
Exactly.
I am on board with this research.
Right.
But okay, let's get real for a second. What about those of us who maybe already have a heart condition?
Okay, yeah.
Does that mean intimacy is off the table? Or are we done?
No, not at all.
Okay, phew.
The American Heart Association actually, they're very clear about this. Just because you have heart disease doesn't mean your sex life is over.
Okay, good to know.
For the vast majority of people with stable heart conditions, sex is perfectly safe.
Okay, that's reassuring.
Yeah.
But I know some people listening right now are probably thinking about those scary stories,
Oh, yeah.
Heart attacks during sex.
Right.
Which honestly, terrifying thought.
It's like the worst case scenario.
Yeah. How much of a risk are we actually talking about here?
Honestly, it's incredibly rare.
Really?
Less than 1% of heart attacks are linked to sexual activity.
Wow.
And even for someone who's already had a heart attack, the added risk during sex is still very small.
Huh.
You're statistically way more likely to get in, a car accident.
Really?
Yeah, on your way to the grocery store or something.
Yeah.
It's all about perspective.
That really puts it into perspective.
Correct.
Okay, but what about medication, though? That's got to be another concern for people.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Because especially for men, there's this worry that heart medication automatically equals erectile dysfunction.
Yeah.
So what's the deal there?
That fear is mostly based on older studies.
Okay.
And honestly, just outdated information.
Interesting.
Modern heart medications don't directly cause erectile dysfunction. So if someone's experiencing that, it's more likely due to this underlying condition called atherosclerosis.
Atherosclerosis?
Yeah, it's a mouthful.
I'm going to need a definition for that one because
Yeah, fair enough.
I did not take medical school.
So basically, imagine your arteries like pipes. Atherosclerosis is basically when those pipes get clogged with plaque, this buildup of cholesterol and other gunk.
Oh, okay.
And this clogging can happen in arteries all over your body,
Makes sense.
including those that supply blood to the heart and, to the penis.
So it's not the heart medication itself. It's this other thing that could be affecting both.
Exactly. It's like this underlying thing that might be affecting both the heart and other areas.
Interesting.
And the thing is, those underlying conditions are often super influenced by lifestyle factors.
Okay, like what?
Things like your diet. Are you exercising?
Yeah.
Are you managing your blood pressure? Smoking, all that stuff.
So it all comes back to taking care of your overall health.
Exactly. It's all connected. It's about a holistic approach.
This is all incredibly insightful, but I know some listeners might still be feeling a little anxious,
Yeah.
What would you say to someone listening who's heard all this, but is still a little apprehensive about, getting back in the game? What's the most important step they can take?
Totally get that. Knowledge is power and all.
Right.
But it doesn't always make those worries disappear completely.
For sure. And that's exactly why talking to your doctor is so important.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah.
Talk to your doctor. Tell them about what's worrying. You ask about your medications, especially if you're on something like Viagra.
Right.
And get personalized advice.
Yeah.
Seriously, don't hold back.
Totally. And, if you ever feel like your concerns aren't being addressed or like you're not totally comfortable, it is more than okay to get a second opinion.
Absolutely.
You deserve to feel heard and confident in the care that you are receiving.
Yeah, and remember, like, communication with your partner is also super important.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Talk to each other. Share your concerns, your fears, your desires. Like, open communication can actually build intimacy and trust,
That's so true.
which ultimately leads to a way more fulfilling and enjoyable experience for both of you.
That is such a good point because it's not just about the physical act, right? It's
Either.
about that emotional connection and just feeling safe and comfortable with your partner.
Exactly, and it ties into this bigger picture here. It's not about quantity, it's about quality.
Yeah.
And part of that quality is feeling safe and, like, actually enjoying that part of your life without this, like, unnecessary fear or anxiety.
Totally. And that includes physical safety, too.
Oh, yeah, of course.
What would you say to someone who's maybe feeling a little nervous during intimacy? Maybe they're worried about their heart rate or feeling a little out of breath.
Listen to your body.
It's giving you signals.
Exactly. If something feels off at any point, just stop. Don't try to push through it.
Yeah.
It is always better to be safe than sorry. Take a break, reassess, see how you feel. And if those feelings keep coming up, definitely bring it up with your doctor.
So basically what we're learning here is that taking care of your heart and having a healthy sex life, they're not like mutually exclusive.
No, not at all.
They actually often go hand in hand.
They do. A healthy lifestyle benefits both.
Okay.
And that includes regular physical activity, a balanced diet, stress management, all that good stuff.
It's all connected.
Exactly. And open communication, both with your partner and your doctor. That's crucial.
So important.
It's the key to, addressing concerns, dispelling those myths, and just feeling empowered to make informed decisions about your health and well-being.
This has been incredibly eye-opening.
It's been fun.
I feel like we've debunked some major myths and hopefully eased some anxieties for our listeners today.
Fingers crossed.
But before we wrap up, there's one more thing I wanted to touch on.
Okay, shoot.
We've talked about how sex can be good for your heart.
Right.
But what about the flip side? Can stress, anxiety, or even just a general lack of intimacy negatively impact heart health?
That's a really interesting question. And honestly, the answer is it's kind of complicated.
Yeah.
We know that being stressed out all the time and anxiety and loneliness, that can really mess with your health in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
Heart disease is definitely one of them.
Right. It's like that whole saying, happiness is good for the heart.
Exactly.
But what's the actual science behind that?
So when we get stressed, our bodies release these hormones like cortisol, adrenaline, all that stuff.
Right.
And those are actually helpful in small doses.
Oh, okay.
They give us that fight or flight response when we're in danger.
Right.
But when we're constantly stressed, those hormones are just surging through our bodies all the time.
Yeah, not good.
And that can really do a number on our cardiovascular system.
So it's not just about what's going on in the bedroom. It's about our overall emotional and mental state too.
It's all connected.
Right.
A healthy heart loves good sex, but it also needs to feel loved and connected and supported. And that comes from nurturing all of our relationships, not just the romantic ones.
That's such a good point because we often just put those things in separate boxes,
Totally.
Our physical health, our emotional health, our relationships, but it's all connected.
It really is. And that's something to keep in mind with all this information. Wow. It's not about just checking things off a list okay, I had sex twice this week.
Right.
It's about figuring out a lifestyle that makes you feel good in every way,
So true. Okay, so basically what we've learned today is that a healthy heart needs a few things. Physical activity, yes. Even the fun kind.
Always a plus.
It's open communication with your partner and with your doctor and just a holistic approach to well-being that takes your mental and emotional health into account.
Couldn't have said it better myself. And, if you're feeling unsure or overwhelmed by any of this, just remember, you don't have to go through it alone.
So true.
Reach out to a healthcare professional that you trust and let them help you create a plan that feels right for you.
Such good advice. Well, on that note, we'll leave you to ponder all of this amazing information. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into sex and heart health. And remember, a healthy heart is a happy heart, and that happiness can come from a lot of places, including but not limited to the bedroom.
Here.
See you next time.